Hello and welcome to From Tree to Book Writers Group.
We are your panel. I'm Eliwood.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Overlord Supreme Cat Queen Sam. This podcast is for writers anywhere on their writing journey, because no matter where you are, as long as you're writing, you're not writing it wrong.
We're going to do a little chatting about writing, play some fun games, share what we're working on.
And then, at the end of this chapter, we're going to keep each other company during a 25-minute writing sprint that we hope you'll join us for.
Although you can always skip it if you want.
So podcast business, what is everyone drinking and what are you drinking it out of?
I actually remembered to have some tea this evening.
Share the hot tea, Sam.
I am drinking a chamomile blend from Stephen Tea Maker. It's the Meadow Blend. I got it at Whole Foods, and I can't actually remember the company name. And I'm drinking it out of a tea mug of my local tea company, even though this is not tea.
Support your local tea company.
Yay!
Support your local tea company. I don't know if I have a local tea. I'm sure I do.
And you have a local coffee shop, though.
I do have a beloved local coffee shop, and I do sometimes just pour hot water on like dried leaves from my backyard. So I guess I'm my own tea company.
There you go. Good job, Ellie.
Oh my god, thank you.
You are multifaceted, aren't you?
I contain at least one multitude.
I haven't counted my multitudes, but there are several.
There's at least one. I'm just drinking some strawberry bubbly water, so I am off theme tonight.
Well, I did seriously consider getting a beer for this recording, but I'm just sticking with water for tonight.
No,
it's been a long day. Maybe beer will happen later. All right.
I did think about doing my London Fog again with my Victorian London Fog, but I was like, I probably shouldn't have caffeine tea.
Double the fog. And like caffeine-free Earl Grey is sacrilegious, right?
Yeah. So wrong.
Yeah.
Captain Picard would, in fact, be disappointed.
And we cannot disappoint Captain Picard.
So, not Jean-Luc. I've never made a London Fog at home.
Ooh.
So do you steam your own milk?
I do.
How do you have like a device?
Yeah, well, I have like I guess it's not really steaming because it's not a steam, but I have like a milk frother that heats the milk, so it kind of froths it.
No, that counts.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, so then like I just, heat as I'm heating the milk and everything, I just also heat my glass, and then I put a little bit of water, a little bit of sugar, tea bag, dump all the milk in there, and then steep it up, and it's delicious.
I'm coming over, and we're gonna make those for ourselves.
Anytime.
And we're gonna do that.
Anytime. So good. I ordered from Harney and Sons the entire bag of Victorian London Fog, and I also
that's my favorite.
Yep. I also have Earl Grey Supreme, so we can try both and see which one we like better. But the Victorian London Fog as a London Fog was delicious.
I'm sure. Victorian London Fog from Harney and Sons is my favorite tea, and I'm out. But I have so much other tea that I like making myself finish some of the tea. Like I have 2 full tins of nice loose leaf Earl Grey that other people have given me, plus like my daily just Twinings in a bag. That is what I usually have first thing in the morning. I have so much Earl Grey that I'm like, I can't justify buying more stuff without using some stuff first.
It's tough.
It is. Being responsible.
It's first world problems, guys. So let's do round robin. What are you working on or what are you reading?
Overlord Supreme Cat Queen, would you like to go first?
Oh, okay.
Your Majesty.
I am actually reading right now. I finished my other books. I'm reading the second Anna and Din mystery from Robert Jackson Bennett. So I don't know where
that's you lent me the first one of those, right?
Yeah, the first one was The Tainted Cup, which was really good. So
it was so good. How far are you along in this one?
Like just started.
Okay. But do you feel like it's meeting the bar of the first one?
Yep. Din is still a great narrator, and Anna is still completely bonkers.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, I'm excited. I'm gonna read that.
Yep. As soon as I'm done, I'm a pile.
Yeah, you're gonna lend it to me. This is our process. Like for I don't know how many years, Sam. You just every time I see you, just show up at my house with a bag of books, and I slowly work my way through them.
Yep, I am in the lending library for it, Anna.
Yeah, I go to the library and I'm like, I don't need to borrow that. Sam's gonna give it to me later.
And no late fees, just cats.
No, in fact, I give her books back and then she hangs out with me. So it's like I'm getting twice paid. It's great.
Yeah.
I get to see Sam and I get books.
Ah, the gift that keeps on giving.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, friendship with Sam is the gift that keeps on giving. For sure. Ellie, what are you reading / writing / working on?
So I'll give what I'm working on update a little bit later. Right now I'm listening to The Morning Gift by Eva Ibbotson. I don't know if it's Eva or Eva. Who she has been kind of a lifelong favorite writer of mine. Which I say is only to point out anyone who's like familiar with her is possibly familiar with like her younger kind of books like Witch, The Secret of Platform 13, which are delightful middle grade, like early chapter books.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal, like delightful witches, goblins, all sorts of fun, weird things. But she's also written quite a few kind of more like historical kind of romances, kind of just like historical fiction, but most of them take place in Austria pre-World War II, based on some of her life experience. So as an adult, I've kind of like rediscovered her through these other works that she's done, and they're all very like, it's still completely like her voice, her tone, like it's very much her mark, but like in a more mature story. So it's been very fun going through some of those works of hers.
Ellie, I wish you lived closer to me so you could lend me your books as well.
Well, these are audiobooks, so I could recite them for you someday.
I have unlimited call-in text. You can.
There we go.
You got my number.
It's a solution for everything.
Well, I'm gonna give a quick update on something I'm working on. A few episodes back, I kind of derailed the conversation by saying I actually need to talk about my thing, and we had a long conversation about like how I needed to completely redo my plot and like take my book apart and rebuild it. So I want to just give you guys a little update on that. It's actually going really well. I literally one day my son had a play date over, and while they were doing their own thing, I actually went through all of these index cards, and then I ran out of index cards. I just started cutting up note paper and redid the order of events, and I worked on the things that needed to happen in the second book. And while I was doing that, my son's friend came over and was like, "What are you doing? That's a lot of cards." And I'm like, "Yep, go away now."
You're not wanted here, child.
Yeah, go play with the other child. Yeah. And so I am now technically writing draft 2, but also a lot of it is in fact draft 1 because it's whole sections I never planned on writing the first time around. So we're going to call this draft 1.5. Nice. But I'm so much happier with how it's going. I'm so much happier with the things that I'm discovering. And like, we'll talk more about how I am not a planner. I'm a pantser. But that little bit of planning really did help a lot with solving a lot of the like block I was having. And it allowed me to introduce characters that I was really excited about much earlier in the process. So it's going well. I'm excited.
Awesome.
I'm sad I don't have more time to work on it, so it's going very slowly, but I am really happy with what I'm discovering when I do work on it.
And why might you not have time to work on it now, Anna?
Oh, well, there is something that's taking up a little bit of my time on top of, having a full-time job and children and a house to run. I've been planning for Monster Mash Madness. TM. Yeah, how's everyone doing with planning for Monster Mash?
It's been pretty fun. I've been really enjoying getting to know this main character. I set out, because the purpose of Monster Mash Madness is to kind of get out of your comfort zone. And at first I thought that meant, well, I'm going to be really brave and not write in third person limited. I'm going to try writing in third person omniscient. That didn't happen. But I really tried to make a character who she's very bold. She's very confident in herself. She's still in situations that are like out of her depth, but she's like, actually, I think I'm going to figure this out. And having to write someone who thinks like that is very difficult for me because that is not who I am as a person. But she's been very fun to kind of like get in the head of, and I'm really excited to see where she's going to take things.
Nice.
Awesome. Yay.
It's going to be to a lot of monster
you
fucking.
love. It's gonna fuck monsters. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. I love that for her.
I love that for you. Your Majesty.
Oh yeah, so I've been struggling with the fact that I don't know, I got fairy, and it's not that I don't like fairies, it's just that they're everywhere and I find them kind of
that covers a wide range.
Yeah,
Narrow it down.
And so like I was struggling with, do I pick a certain fairy type or do I kind of just do fairy and just like don't go into any detail? I'm still not sure, even though whatever. But I did feel like I want to kind of lean into the kind of trope of werewolves and fairies hate each other. Ooh. And so since I got both fairy and werewolf, why not play off of that somehow and, see if I can't get them to overcome their differences and fuck really a lot. I don't know.
Wait,
I love that.
Are you just writing the plot of Underworld?
Absolutely.
Well, that's vampires.
But it's just fairies instead of vampires.
Yep. And
I love it.
Michael Sheen has agreed to be in the movie version of my book. He doesn't know it yet.
Good yet. That's a good get.
Incredible.
He's gonna insist on doing his natural Welsh accent, so maybe you should write the text phonetically for him. Like start that way. Assume the character's gonna be Welsh. Write phonetically. It won't offend anyone. It'll be great.
No. Well, and then now I need Matthew Rhys to also be in the movie somehow.
We'll get him.
Natural Welsh
just
accent.
Lean into Welsh fairies. I'm enjoying this idea.
It's only good ideas as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, now I have to write the entire story with those two. That's fine. I'm not mad about that.
I'm not mad either. So I haven't gotten as far with my character development, but I've just been trying to do a little research. So I have the Lamia, who I think we discussed when we pulled it. She's like a Greek fish monster / lady who drinks men's blood.
Snake baddie.
And a demon, which like that's easy. Everyone has demons. And the Kraken. And I was trying to figure out what to do about the Kraken, so I literally Googled Kraken because I was like, where does he fit in the Greek pantheon? He doesn't. Krakens are Norwegian.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Norwegian myth. It comes from like 15th century Norwegian sailors.
And yet, the Clash of the Titans worked it in so well.
The Clash of the Titans is not accurate.
What?
What?
Yeah.
I'm about to walk off this podcast.
Right. So that threw me for a loop because I'm like, how can I work? I don't even know how to work the Kraken into Dracula's sexy party because he is not coming above land. He's not coming out of the water.
He is coming.
I mean, what if Dracula's sexy party just happened to relocate to an underworld?
Into a pool?
Yeah.
Or a party yacht?
I did think about like, what if Dracula's castle has an underground pool that like connects to Underground Springs, and that's it. I thought about it. I'm not going to do that. What I think I'm going to play with, in similar to what you were talking about, Ellie, like I'm going to try something I haven't done before. I'm going to have a story within my story.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So, again, we're not over planning here because that's how my brain works. But I have some ideas of how this could work, and I think it, as part of her seduction of the young man, she's going to tell a sexy story about the Kraken.
Oh.
So that's how this is
going to have a past with the Kraken, and that's how that all.
Yeah, I mean, well, she's like half human, half vampiric fish beast, so she can be on land or water.
Absolutely. I imagine in my head it's just like every single bit in like a sitcom where like someone starts describing something, but then there's like a car horn or like music, and like you just see them and, like obscene hand gestures, but like we can't actually hear what she's saying.
Yeah. So you can't hear what she's saying, but you can see like the gestures.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't really work in text though, Ellie.
I believe in you.
Thanks. I appreciate that. So that's my challenge.
Love it.
Perfect.
So, folks, if you have not already picked your monsters yet, there's still time. Do it. Spin the wheel of monsters.
Yep.
All the info for how to join Monster Mash Madness is on our socials. We're just writing short stories. 10,000 words is the goal. Have fun. No AI. Stretch your brain.
Join the leaderboard on TrackBear. Track your progress.
Join the leaderboard on TrackBear and let us know how you're doing.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you. Like, you could even send us your plot summary or your favorite line that you've written. And I don't know, we were talking about this earlier. We might read a couple of our favorites on a later episode. So let us know. This is an experiment for us, opening the gates for others to join us, but we want to know how it's going for you, and we want to know if it's a success for you.
Yeah. And thank you to everyone who's already reached out and commented and said they were joining in. Thank you all. It's been so much fun already. It's already my favorite time of year, and it's so much fun this year.
It's the most sexual time of the year.
That's definitely not going to get us flagged on YouTube.
No. Mm-mm.
Wait, is that copyright protected?
I have no idea.
Should I stop singing?
Not.
I should definitely stop singing. All right, we should talk about what we're actually talking about today. All right.
What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today? I wrote it down. Ellie, do you want to explain what we're talking about today?
Yeah, I'll just do this one off the dome. So I'm gonna say weird stuff because I don't plan it out well. Our topic our topic of discussion today is we're sharing a little bit about how we best approach storytelling. There's a lot of similarities between us, let's be honest. But one of the things that I think is really fun is that we all approach our writing very differently. So we have, I believe the tentative title is something like plotter versus pantser versus mapper.
Mm-hmm.
I almost always say it wrong every single time I say that.
We all have different brains.
We all have different brains. And what's even cooler is every single person listening to this also has a different brain. And maybe we can share some stuff that'll help you guys think about how to work with your brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Sam, you're a plotter. What does that mean?
I am. So that means that if I don't have a detailed kind of outline and plan for my story, I flail around a lot and I don't make very good progress on my story. So I am, and this is true in my work and personal life as well. I need a road ahead of me and I need to be able to see what's coming up. I can't just kind of take it on faith and be like, oh yeah, I'm sure wherever, I'm sure I'm going to get where I'm going if I don't know what's ahead of me. So before we had GPS on our phones and on our cars, but we still had MapQuest. I would go onto MapQuest and I would, kind of figure out where I was going, and I would read the directions ahead of time and I would print them out and have them in the car with me. And even now, even with I still map out my journey before I go anywhere new, because I need to know what's happening. And so for me being a plotter, I have a detailed outline, just kind of the overall story. And then I get deeper into that and I do a scene by scene map as well. I have character list, character sheets, character bios. I have a detailed kind of description of my world. And that all kind of feeds my story. How I come up with the story idea is different every time. So I might start with a scene idea and build the story around the scene idea, or maybe it's a character or something. But I can't start drafting until I have a pretty well-defined path forward. And so that's even true for my Monster Mash. So if I have basically like a notebook to kind of start brainstorming things before I start anything. And so this is my Monster Mash notebook. It has last year's and this year's brainstorming and scene ideas. And like the story I'm working on now about my necromancer, like that's this notebook. And so I have like a beat sheet or like overarching beat sheet. I have lists, just kind of brainstorming ideas. And I have to-do lists, and I also kind of journal my day, depending on if I need if I'm feeling blocked, I need to just write down something. But for my Monster Mash, I had like a scene by scene. I had like an overall outline of where I was going, and then I had like scene breakdown and like kind of goal, motivation, conflict of everything. And so I need a precise map before moving forward. Otherwise, I kind of just spin around a lot and there's no progress made in the story whatsoever, like about characters or storyline or anything like that. It's just, and that would be very boring for readers.
Are there any specific tools you have found that like have really helped you and have made a difference?
So for me, I use a lot of reference materials. So there's the Save the Cat beat sheet I find is really helpful, like as the first pass, like the larger story, breaking it down into the acts. And then I watch a lot of YouTube videos for like here's how a scene is constructed, or kind of there's a lot of reference material. So I also have like a lot of writing books. So Save the Cat's a really good one. And then for like character arc work, KM Weiland is a really good resource as well. She has a whole she has a whole book and like an exercise book that kind of walks you through like a character's arc, both positive arc, a negative arc, and then kind of like flat arc, and like kind of all the things you need to think about in each act to like in order to have the character progress through your story. And it's the way she explains it is really helpful because she has a lot of movie examples, but also she basically is of the mindset, and I agree, is like the character is driving the plot. It's not the plot that's driving the character. And so if your character isn't strong enough to drive the plot, your readers are going to be super bored.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. And, like, there are some very plot heavy stories that are still enjoyable, but like you don't really connect with the characters, and so you kind of read them and you forget about them. But if you really want to resonate, then you really need your character, kind of be driving the plot and not the other way around. Because you don't want your character reacting to things like that's just. And I personally find that boring as well. I know not everyone might, but
I feel like there is some wiggle room, like for genre. Like most of the time, you want a character who is making those choices. But I'm also thinking of like every horror movie where like it's characters who keep like opening doors and like reading from books who are causing the horror to happen. And it's like, well, maybe some characters don't deserve agency.
Maybe you shouldn't read Latin aloud out of a mysterious leather-bound book.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion. What are some like roadblocks that you find you experience either when you're plotting or when you're going through and writing?
So for me, a roadblock is because one of the things also is that I'm still learning how to deal with is I've done all this work and then I'll start writing and all of a sudden I'm completely off of the outline and I'm like, what do I do? Where do I go now? And so it's taking that moment to like trust myself and to trust the story to tell me where it's going to go. So that's what I'm still working on is when I'm in the story and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, this isn't where I was supposed to go. I like where I'm going. So like now I have to be like, can I fit it into where I wanted to go in the first
Can
place.
you take a detour back to where you already headed, or do you need to redo your map?
Really, yeah, because at that point, like once I realize I'm off the map, I'm like, if I can't envision where it's going, then that's when I start swirling again. And so then I kind of get stuck in the story, and I'm like, it's like then I have like 5,000 words about these two characters talking about breakfast. I'm like, that's so boring.
You can probably edit that out later.
But I can't get past the breakfast because I don't know how to move them to the next scene.
Yeah. That was always the problem with MapQuest. Was if you make the wrong turn and you're looking for the next street to come up, it's not coming up.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
And you're in Boston, baby. It's all one-way streets against
you. And they're all going the same way. So
yeah.
It's not like New York where you just go to the next block and you can go.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So I love being a plotter, but I'm still, one of the things I enjoy about writing and the how it's different for everyone is I'm still learning what truly works for me, because I also do find that each story is different, right? So what the level of detail that might have worked for another story, like I could get lost in the detail in the next story and be like, that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm spending my time doing is just kind of plotting. And so I think that's another roadblock too, is when do you stop? Like when you just kind of put the pen down and be like, all right, now it's time to draft. And just, if you have to spend 2,000 words on breakfast, that's fine. And then so then I find what's really helpful is one of the tools is just have like a box of writing prompts, and then just kind of pull out a writing prompt and start your next scene with that, and then go into the story.
That's actually really smart.
Yeah, because like the first sentence, like it probably has nothing to do with the story you're telling, but it just gets words on the page, and you're not intimidated by the blank page.
Yeah, and like how you said, like you will sometimes journal to like get yourself into that too. Like those are all like really good techniques to like help you get there.
Yeah. So I am a very slow writer, but I make progress, and that's what matters.
Progress is what matters.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Well, so it's funny. So I think your brain and my brain are very different, as we all know. Because I'm definitely not a plotter. But it's interesting, like you're describing, you start writing the scene and like, oh, this is not where I was planning. Like that happens to me all the time. So like I have a very similar like problem, but like a very different way of getting there and then getting out of it again. So I'm a natural pantser. I always have been. The idea strikes me and I start writing it. And then as I'm writing it, I see where it goes. But I think that instinct is part of why I have not ever gotten a book done. Like it serves me well for the short term, but it does not always produce results in the long term. So what actually this writers group has helped me to do a lot is infuse just a little bit of plotting into my process, just enough to keep me from getting bored and letting things go. But this is as much plotting as I had ever done. Like, well, I came up with this, Sam, to your notebook. So like this is the level of plotting that is comfortable for me. But being able to do this is a big step from where I was a few years ago, when it was like, I don't know what to do next. I'm just not going to touch it again, which is what I used to do. So for me, it's, an idea strikes, I get really excited about it. I have to write it down. And like, I used to do a lot of improv. So I think sometimes I approach it like an improviser, like a new character walks in. Ooh, he's a butler. Here's what his name is. Oh, I've got ideas about his backstory. And like, I'm not writing that down. I'm thinking that while I'm writing, and as his words are coming out, I'm like, oh, this is the kind of, he's a little bit sad. Oh, he's very old. Oh, okay. And like, this is all, this is how his employer reacts to that. Oh, okay. This is the relationship between them. Like, I think I treat writing as if I am reading it. I am telling myself a story and delighting myself with these new surprises. But then sometimes I do end up in a cul-de-sac, and then so it's helpful to have at least have a little bit of this is where you need to go so I can back up and then continue on. And then sometimes you have to do a major we have to back up a lot. We're in the wrong town. But it's part of what keeps me writing is I don't quite know where it's going. And so that's the carrot that gets me to keep writing is I want to find out where this is going to end up. And if I already know exactly how the story is going to end, I might not have the motivation to keep writing. So I have to balance between this is going to be good and I know it's going to go somewhere good and but where is it? I don't know. I got to keep going to find out. So it is tricking myself, actually. I'm now realizing it's tricking myself into doing the work.
Being a discovery writer.
Discovery writer, sure. But I think I'm also susceptible to shiny new idea syndrome because of that. Because I have a new idea, I have to write it down, and now I want to spend a lot of time on that one. So yeah, there's definitely pitfalls with being a pantser, but it's I have had to learn to work with my brain, not I have tried to do more plotting out, and I there's only so much I can do. So rather than trying to force myself to write in a way that's not comfortable, it's trying to just all right, small adjustments, a little bit of plotting, a little bit of planning to keep myself grounded. And I've learned a lot from you guys, actually. So.
Same though.
Yeah.
What are some maybe not tools, but what are some methods you use to keep yourself, aside from keeping yourself in the dark and tricking yourself? What are there any you talked about improv exercises? Are there any that you kind of lean on to find that butler?
I mean, the butler is an example of someone who just jumped into my head and I loved him instantly. Honestly, the servants often come to me in a moment and I love them. Because I'm writing a lot of 19th century stuff, so you have those class differences and then you get sassy servants and it's great. Something that I do that I think has helped a lot is the idea comes to me, I work it into the scene, but then I do try and make a point of taking that tidbit and copying it and pasting it into a separate sheet where I have, here's who all of my characters are and important points about them. So I'm not sitting down and thinking out, here's this character, here's their backstory, here's all the things you need to know about them. I don't have all of that planned out. I might for my most major characters, but not for everyone. So as I'm writing, if I discover a fun tidbit, I try and put that in elsewhere. So, the butler mentions his sister. His sister is this name, and she's his older sister, and she's the one who got him this job 80 years ago. That's now in the character sheet that I'm keeping in a separate sheet so that I can come back to it later if I need to. So just kind of writing notes for myself so that it's easier to remember what I came up with in the moment. That's been helpful. And I think writing notes for myself, leaving notes of I literally have Post-its up here. And last week my husband was working in this space and probably was going, what the hell is Anna doing? So it's Jay texts Odessa, they found something. Okay, I need to work that in. I can't do that right now, but I need to just write a note so I don't forget to put that in. Or why should the audience love Gideon? I'm not quite sure yet. I'm not going to solve in the scene I'm writing, but it occurred to me as I'm writing the scene, I'm not sure the audience loves Gideon. Okay, I'm going to fix that later. I can't think about it right now, but I wrote a little nice note so I don't forget to do it later.
Okay, it's that just kind of leans into the archaeological dig, discovery feeling.
Yeah, it's very much discovery. And then a week later, I'll be washing the dishes oh, this is why the audience loves Gideon. Okay, and I think I don't think I wrote it down, so I've forgotten what that reason was, but I'm sure I'll figure it out later. I just have to trust that my brain will come up with something.
It'll spit that out. And also kind of what I'm hearing and correct me if I'm wrong, but it also sounds especially when you're finding these unique characters, you're kind of just accepting the weird and working with the weird instead of second guessing yourself. I think is maybe where you're not second guessing yourself when you have this little butler coming out.
Yeah, I mean the fun quirky characters that come out are half the joy. I mean, if someone truly doesn't fit, you can always go back and cut it later. You can always edit it out. You can always make a this person's too far out there. It's not totally working. I'm gonna redraft. I'm gonna go back and do another draft later. So what's exciting to me is like, oh, she's gone to this museum and she's talked to the docent, and the docent is really excited and she's sharing way too much information. I'm gonna write all of that and all this what the purple haired docent is saying. I'm gonna write all that down. I might go back and cut some of that later. But I'm enjoying this conversation and where it's leading me, and this character's fun right now. And as long as I can get from this scene to where my main character is now back on the train going to the next scene, it's fine. And that's I let myself explore the characters, especially. I don't know. Maybe that's my improv background and my acting background. I don't know. But it does feel a lot like a character workshop exercise a lot of time.
Well, and also, like, there is, I think, some similarities with what Sam was saying, because Sam, you were saying, like, you're kind of diving into, like, the parts that you find fun, like, when you're going through and doing this plotting. So is the secret ingredient just fun?
Well, I don't know, Ellie. What do you find fun? You tell us.
I find it really fun to think of weird little towns and fill it with weird little people.
Which we like to call mapping. Tell us about your process.
It is actually this term coined by you, Anna, is actually kind of perfect for me, I think, because I've always kind of considered myself like somewhere between a plotter and a pantser. I keep trying to say plotter and planner. Those are the same thing. You can't be between the same thing. That's just
I keep saying plotzer, which is not.
It's not. That's not anything. Because I do need to do a decent amount of prep, especially when I'm going into something like novel length. I used to do just a lot of pantsing, like honestly, very similar to you, Anna. Like I would have a fun idea, I would write it out. You know, I could, for like NaNoWriMo and stuff, I could generally try and stick with something for 50,000 words, but like it would kind of turn into a struggle, and then I have a graveyard of NaNoWriMo first drafts buried somewhere in a hard drive that I've just never touched again since then. And it really wasn't until Blue Dye Beach, and I've talked about this before, but right before Blue Dye Beach, I had run like a 2-year D&D campaign where I literally just built this entire multiverse with like a pantheon and like these different kingdoms and history of wars and whatever. There was multiple timelines. It's not important. And I just had so much fun. Like anytime I had downtime of work of being like, let's think about what kind of flora and fauna are unique to this part of the continent today. And like, that was just like what my brain wanted to think about. Like when I didn't want to think about work stuff, because why am I going to think about work stuff? And it made playing the campaign easier because like when you're a DM, like you're running a whole bunch of things at once, and like there are definitely DMs who can show up with like a single post-it note that goes fight at some point, and like they're fine, they can run the campaign. I'm not that DM. Like I need to have multiple contingency plans for like the characters, like this is the main plot, they're going to get distracted by something over here, have an idea of if they chase the main plot, and have at least 2 ideas for if they chase this, and like I need that prep. And after running that campaign, I kind of just started doing that for like, what if there's a weird little creepy beach town? And like, what kind of people would live there? What kind of stores need to be there? What kind of activities like do the people do? And like, it ended up like I ended up building Blue Dye Beach like I was building a D&D campaign, and except I focused more on the interrelationships between a lot of the townspeople. And this is actually, I think, one of the smartest things I've ever done, and I try to do it for every time I plan a book now. Because this was it's a small town, and like pretty much everyone knows everyone, I would go through and I like would build out the bio of pretty much every character, and I would try to give everyone some kind of like a piece of hot gossip about them. And it could be like, this person has never eaten a vegetable, or it could be like, this person almost had an affair with that other person. And like from there, like it helped me connect all the different townspeople in ways that like I wouldn't have come up with organically, but it also helped inform so much of like who they were as people. Like there's secrets about Milo and Manny, and their friendship that are probably never going to make it to page, but because I know it, like, I have a very strong idea of exactly like how deep their friendship runs, what they'll do for each other, and I think that's really informed like how I write them on the page. RIP the entire arc I had where Teddy had a rival in his local community theater. So,
Someday you can write the novella.
someday. But more importantly, what this does for me is it's the exact same as when I was running a campaign, because I am very much a momentum writer, and I can draft pretty quickly, but I have to have momentum behind it or else it's just gone. Like, I have to stay on that train track, and if I have to stop, if I have to derail, like, that's it. I'm not picking back up, or if I do, like, it's gonna take a lot. So being able to have that freedom of like, okay, so my characters are in a scene. Oh no, someone suggested they hang out after school. Oh, where would these guys hang out after school? And if I have to stop and think about that, I'm risking losing all that momentum. So if I'm like, oh, there's that coffee shop they always like to hang out, or like, oh, there's like a pizza place that's pretty close to the school building, so they probably would hang out there after school. And I just need to have that map of like, where are these people going? What are they doing? And that helps me supplement the plot when I'm actually developing that as I write.
It's interesting. Both Sam and I referred to the driving and being on the road, and like when you lose like your way, getting back in like directions. Whereas Ellie, you just talked about having a train. Like your train, which actually works. Like you're a mapper, you have your whole little mini town laid out, and the train tracks. There's a specific loop that it's going to follow, and that is already defined. You know where your train can go and where it does not go.
Pretty much. And, I generally go into the book having like, I have a really strong idea of how it's going to start. I kind of know where it needs to get, mostly. So I need to get from point A to point B with whatever happens in the middle. But also, I always have a really hard time with, like, there's all these questions of like, do your characters just ever take over the plot? And for me, it's more like a very complicated set of dominoes where I know I need the characters to do this, but I can't just get them to do this, and they're not going to tell me they do this. I have to find the right combination of their internal motivations and external motivations to make them get there on their own. It's kind of like playing 3D chess against myself, except not at all like that.
I just want to say I love you two so much. The way you two write, I don't think I could do either of your methods. Like, I think I would go crazy if I tried.
And that's okay. I love the idea of being a discovery writer, but it gets too overwhelming for me. Like, I don't have the jib jab, what am I thinking of?
I don't know.
When you can like fucking weave, dodge and weave.
Okay. All right. The agility?
Jib jab.
The jib
agility.
Jab.
Yeah.
No, I like jib jab. You don't have the jib jab.
I don't have the jib jab,
TM.
But also TM. And also, Sam, like, I really admire your dedication to craft and like scene breakdown. Like, I don't find out how bad a scene is until I'm looking at the draft to try to make my edits, and then I go, this scene isn't doing anything.
I feel like I can almost guarantee that Sam has to redraft a lot less than you or I do.
Guaranteed.
Like, Sam's doing the work up front, so by the time she's actually writing, it's all good. Whereas I'm gonna vomit on the page and then clean it up later.
Yeah, I think what I struggle with, like, I can have like a good scene structure, but like the word choice is like, I think like I struggle with that. So I still have to do a lot of rewriting and everything, because I'm just like, it's more I'm telling the story than actually like showing the story. So that's one of the, I think that's, at least, I don't know if you guys are the pantser and the mapper have the same like things, but it's still like hard to get good words on the page, even knowing what I know about the story.
Yeah. I think knowing what your bad habits are as a writer is really, really important. Like there are certain words that I've now caught myself overusing, and I'm like, I can't say obviously anymore. Every time I see the word obviously, I have to delete it. Like
nearly
or clearly.
just
I say clearly all
clearly.
the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like knowing what are your like crutches, what are the things that you rely on too much, like, and you do have to just like do the work of writing for a while before you can start seeing what those things are. And I think that's true no matter what your approach is, what your style is, whether you're a planner or a pantser or a plotzer or a mapper or anything in between. Like that's going to be true no matter what. And learning how to or a jib jabber, learning how to recognize what those crutches and weaknesses are, and then either getting better at editing yourself or working with good editors to catch you. Like that's Sam, where you feel like that's what you have to kind of break that habit for yourself. Like that's the challenge that you have as you're continuing to develop your work. For me, it's relying too heavily on certain words. I do way too much dialogue. Like I will find myself, especially in the first draft, it's all dialogue and no description. And I'm like, that's my theater background.
Yeah.
What are the words that I, as the performer, are saying? That's what I'm putting down. I'm trying to get better at it, but like that's one of my weaknesses that I'm trying to work on.
I do way too many stage directions in the first draft. That's one of the first things I have to make sure I clean up, because again, as a mapper, I'm like looking at, obviously I have the house layout right in front of me as I'm writing a scene. So I have a lot of, she crossed the room and then took the first door to the left, but then she had to go past the thing.
No one actually, know it, and that's good you know it, but no one else needs to know it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I will say it's really important to identify those and learn to get rid of them in the second draft.
Right.
Whatever you have to do to get the first draft out, find those crutches so you can use them and lean on them excessively. And then in the second draft, that's what you can look out for.
Yeah. I do think, though, because this is now, I've written a couple of things already. I've written bad drafts of second drafts of several things. I am getting better now at recognizing it as I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But as you say, like sometimes I'm like, I don't care that this is all dialogue. I just have to get the dialogue down. I'll add in the scene later. But I am writing the word clearly a lot less.
Well, that's good.
So I did get better about that.
I have a vocal tick. I start a lot of sentences with so, and like once I saw I was doing that in my writing, I was like, oh, this is every third piece of dialogue. Someone's going so. And like I hear it differently in my head when I read it back, so I don't catch it, but it's nauseating.
Yeah, that's really good that you recognize that and you can catch it for yourself.
An
editor can help you with that, but
one of the pieces of advice I came across, I don't know, I can't remember where, but they were like, writing dialogue, like people don't want to read the way people actually speak, and so dialogue in books is not going to be like, when you read natural speech in books, it's very jarring because that's not how people expect to read dialogue. And I was like, oh, because I found myself falling into that where some of my dialogue was more natural speech than it was, and so it wasn't, it was very jarring, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. So I have that in my brain as I write my dialogue, because I know it's like not true for every instance or for every reader, but it is kind of interesting to think about how natural speech rhythms don't translate as well onto the written page.
Yeah. But you still want to like emulate it. So I feel like the challenge is like, it can't be word for word like how someone speaks should be on the page, but it still needs to feel like it is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's the challenge.
It's a different medium, so what it needs to seem like it's natural without being natural.
Exactly.
It's like, and again, I'm going back to the theater for the analogy. It's like, I'm going to speak as if this is coming straight from my heart and I'm just thinking of it now, but I'm also using breath control and good posture so that I'm projecting and I'm articulating so everyone in the room can hear me say this thing that I just thought of spontaneously. So it's like, yes, you want it to seem natural, but if it was actually like people would speak, it would be garbage to read. So like you actually have to like be very artificial to be natural.
Exactly.
Sometimes I feel like a lot of art is like, you know, those sculptures where if you look at it, it's just like a bunch of like random pieces of like metal or whatever. But when you shine a light on it in a specific way, like you see in the shadow what it's meant to be.
Mm.
And I think that's like when you're talking about like TV shows, movies, writing, video editing, it's just learning how to line up all the pieces so that when someone comes along and observes it, it's what it appears as how you want it to appear.
We're getting into some very deep philosophical discussion about the nature of art
Yeah.
and what makes art. I feel like we could talk about this a lot longer, but I do notice we've been talking for a while and we still have to do our sprint.
And we have a fun game to play if we want to play a game really quick.
So let's do a quick game and then we'll do our sprint. But maybe we need to have another conversation on another episode about the nature of art and what art is.
Really.
But this was really fun, and I loved hearing more about your guys' approaches, and I hope that our listeners will maybe recognize themselves a little bit, and you know your own brain better than anybody. You have to figure out what works for your brain, and what are your natural strengths, what are your weaknesses, how can you boost where you're weaker, how can you accentuate what you're actually good at. That's something I think it really just does take like practice and time and doing it. You got to put in the work.
Yeah, I mean, and definitely share your processes down in the comments below, and like maybe from each other, because again, we're always learning and trying to find what works with us, because may not necessarily I feel like you're always learning and growing and stuff. So
there's no one right way to do it.
Mm-mm.
Exactly.
All right, so
there's just the writing way to do it.
There's the writing way. Ellie, the game was your idea. Do you want to introduce it?
Sure. So this is actually stolen from another writer friend of mine. I'm sorry, guys. I have other writer friends. I know. I'm sorry. But when your book is published and it's super popular and everyone loves it, and you can you have your choice of what kind of merch you can make for your book. What is some maybe non-standard merch you would like to see for your writing?
So I have two ideas. One is, so one of the things that was like instigated me completely redoing my story was a cat that I wanted to integrate, named Mr. Jonathan Inkpot, aka Inky. He's a black cat, which is partially inspired by that Jonathan over there. So Inky merch would definitely be key. But I do realize that like stuffed black cats and like black cat stuff is not like actually unique. So the other idea I was thinking, so you know how Bridgerton's really big right now, and so like Bridgerton style, like like if you go on, like, I'm not going to say the name of the company because the algorithm will then start serving everyone ads. But if you like research rugs, they'll be like, oh, here's Bridgerton inspired patterns, and like lots of like home decor is very Bridgerton inspired right now. There's a scene in my book where the ghost shreds the beautiful blue bed curtains in the Victorian mansion. So I think actually some like beautiful decor that is pre-ripped would be very unique merch. If you could buy like beautiful blue damask bed curtains that have been shredded like a ghost's ran their claws through them, wouldn't that be different?
That would be very fun.
That's my idea. Sam, what's yours?
So I had a couple of them as well. So one of them was every book comes with like a little Skunkle Dermot plushie.
Yes, I want a Skunkle Dermot so bad. Make it happen now.
Except he's a little bit more zombified, so he's got like bone showing through and a very ratty tail.
Oh, it's like the Corpse Bride, but a skunk.
Yeah, exactly.
I love him.
I want him.
And then the other one I was thinking could be like a kitchen, like a refrigerator magnet. But it's like a zombie hand trying to give a thumbs up, except the thumb is missing.
So it's just a fist.
Yeah, it's just like kind of like a bone sticking up, like half bone.
That would be so cute.
That would be so sad.
But what about you, Ellie?
I also have a couple ideas. one thing that I would love to have would be like a series of posters that would be like kind of like old-fashioned travel tourism posters that for like Welcome to Blue Dye Beach.
Nice.
I think that would look really fun with kind of that style. There is just Blue Dye things in the book, which there's a bunch of little touristy thingies in there that would
You
be
mention
very
a
fun.
lot of the merchant knickknacks they have, and
Yeah.
it sounds great.
So I feel like that's like a little bit of a cheating answer, but anything from just Blue Dye things. But the one thing that I would really insist on would be from just Blue Dye things, a T-shirt that says "I got crabs at Blue Dye Beach."
Oh, stay classy, Ellie.
Always. Oh, and of course, copies of Blue Dye the Unnatural. That goes without saying.
Oh yeah. There have been authors whose names I shall not name who have written some very fun incidental, like the books that are referenced in their world, and then that's fun.
An author I will name who did that, Rick Riordan, did that for the Half-Blood Percy Jackson series, and I will gladly say Uncle Rick's name.
We will say Rick Riordan's name. It is a good name.
We don't need to talk about anyone else.
Books. Why name anyone else? All right, guys, I think we should do a rating sprint. Let's do it.
Yep. Let's do it.
Let's do
I'm
it.
all motivated.
And that's 25 minutes. We hope you had a productive writing or brainstorming session. Maybe you're doing a little work on Monster Mash. We'd love to hear how it went. So go ahead, send us a note, write in the comments. We want to hear from you, friends.
Please like, review, subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on social media. Links to everything are in the podcast description.
From Treat a Book Writers Group is produced in partnership with Hook and Quill Press, LLC. Please check out their socials as well.
Our theme music was by FASSounds.
And remember, wherever we are, we're writing together. Bye.